Hey guys, Katie Heller here with KidsCanReadAndWrite.com. Today I want to talk to you about spelling with ending blends, because when kids come to me for testing, a lot of times I see mistakes when they're trying to spell words with ending blends. And so you are probably seeing the same thing at home if your child is struggling to learn how to spell and write. So let's talk about what happens and what they need to know to fix that. So an ending blend, just so we're on the same page, is when you have two consonants together that you can blend together that are at the end of a word. Get it? Ending blend. So it's an ending blend if we have like the L and the T here. The two consonants would come after the vowel sound. So when we read this word, remind your child to check out if it's a B or a D by seeing if the ba-ba-ba back is there or if the da-da-da daddy's face was first. Here we have the ba-ba-ba back, so you would remind your child belt, belt. And remember, if they're having trouble reading it, just cover that last sound and have them read this part first. Bell, bell, and then add the t, belt, belt. Now when they're spelling and they sound it out, a lot of times what I'll see them end up with, even if they're sounding it out, is this. Now why do they come out with that? Well, when they're sounding it out, belt, they go belt. They just don't hear the L. It's quieter than the T. It's a little bit quieter. So if they have any kind of auditory processing or any trouble with hearing at all, it is very easy for this next to last consonant to just not be heard. So what you want to do to help them is first of all say, good try, right? We want to praise the effort. Praising effort is crucial to having your kids want to keep working with you. So remember, praise, praise, praise. So, oh, good try. I love the way you sounded that out. Let's see what you wrote. And then have them sound this out. Bet, bet. You wrote the word bet. Let's see if we can fix it and turn it into belt. Do you see how I pointed right there? That's to help point out where the missing letter is. I go belt. And I kind of pause there while I make the sound so that they can hear it. And when they hear it and go, oh, I need an L. Some kids will just forget that it went here and they'll stick it here. And if yours do that, you need to say, okay, let's see what it says now, and have them sound it out. Bet-ol, bet-ol, betel. Uh-oh, that doesn't say belt. How would we make bet-ol say belt? And if you want, you can leave a dot here so they can remember. Well, hopefully they realize, oh, I need to move the L here. And that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to reinforce that there's a reason that the L goes before the T. And there's a reason that we need that L. We can't just skip it and put the T because we don't want but-et, right? We want belt, belt. So that's really important. So let's say you're doing sand and you call out the word sand, and what do you think they're going to write? If they can't hear it properly, they sound it out. Sand. And this is what I see so often. Sand will turn into sad. So then you say, what? Good try. That's really close. You know, come up with something. Let's see what you wrote. Which one is this? Duck, because daddy's face is first. sad. Or if, let's say, they're having trouble with their B's and D's, and they wrote this, which is also very common. Let's see, then it would say saab, back is first, so ba, saab, sab. How would we make it say and? Oh, I wrote the wrong one. Let's see. And. If you need to, you can put the dots so they know they need two more things. But the goal is to help them learn to hear it. And. Right? And to make sure they're putting Daddy's face first for the D's or the ba back for the B's. But that's how you do it. You want to slow it down, help them hear what they need to write. Because spelling is a code. We don't need to just memorize these things. So you don't want to just say to a kid, oh no, it's spelled S-A-N-D. Whenever kids ask me, how do you spell something? I always say, oh, you want to spell sand? And I'll help them hear it, and then they can spell it. But I never spell words for kids unless they're just crazy words, and then usually I only spell the part that's crazy, or I'll help them hear that crazy part by sounding it out crazily. But I usually just sound out words for kids. I don't usually spell anything for them because I want them to learn it's a code. So let's say you call out hint. Your child writes int, like that. You heard them say the sounds, but they didn't really hear that N was there. First things first, great job. Let's see what you wrote and get them in the habit of checking their work. It, hit. Oh, that's really close. Remember, you're trying to keep it positive and exciting. You want to spell int. Do you hear what's missing? See if they can look at it. Oh. And see if they can fix it. If they can't fix it, then you point in and just hold that until they put it in. And you can't hold that, but they'll usually hear that because it's crisp. All right, and then you can read it. Oh, let's see what it says now. Int. Hint. And make sure they also know what the words mean as you're calling them out. You always want to check vocabulary. All right, and then this one, a lot of times what I'll see for this one is either this and this sometimes. A lot of times I'll see something like that. Now, why am I seeing that? Well, a lot of teachers are teaching WH says WA, and it does, but it doesn't cover every WA, right? It's not always WH. I'll usually tell the kids the main WH words are the question words. Who, what, when, where, why. And then there are some others they just have to memorize. But if it's not who, what, when, where, why, or some of the other really common ones you help them memorize, then just go with the plain old W. Now with went, oh, I shouldn't have erased that yet because the I. The other thing is E's and I's are very tricky for a lot of kids, and a lot of adults don't say them very clearly. So one of the things as you're working with your kids is make sure your vowel sounds are clear and correct. Make sure, because if you're saying went, we went to the store, well, they're going to spell went, even if they're sounding out really well and hearing that blend now. Okay, went. Now, they might not hear that N and write wit, right? But if you're calling it out, went, we went there, you have an accent, we went there, they can't sound that out. So you, as a teacher person, have to make sure you're pronouncing the words correctly so they can match it with the correct sounds. So we want to make sure we're saying went, went. And I'll tell kids, remember, it's like we went to the store. We went to the store. So it starts with the word we. So that helps some of them because some just always want to put W-I. Even when we say went, but they have strong accents, so they hear it went every time. So we went to the store. So what? And hold that until they write it. Went. And make sure they get that. So those are the main reasons, guys. First of all, make sure your kids know letters and sounds. Second of all, make sure you are calling out the words clearly and slowly. Don't race forward. One of my kids was failing all his spelling tests. I said, what's going on? Because he would do so well with me, but then he would go into the school and he would miss tricks he knew. And what he said was, the teacher goes too fast. I can't think about it because I'm having to race to get it done because she goes to the next word so fast. So if you're a teacher in a classroom, slow down for those kids who need a little extra time. Maybe pull them off to the side if you need to. If you see they missed everything, like maybe ask them in a quieter space and let them do it slower, or just slow down and give everybody plenty of time to get it, because he felt so rushed and he just couldn't think through the tricks. He couldn't put what he knew down on paper, because with me, with his parents, he was always getting those words correct. And then at school, woo, out the window. Now, nerves can do that and other things can do that too. But a lot of it, according to him, it was the teacher just goes too fast. I can't keep up. And then I forget what the word was. So I have to write it super fast. And then the next word's coming and people are talking. You know, it's a lot. So if your kids are doing the same thing, you know, maybe help them come up with ways to just take their time, talk with the teacher, whatever you need to do. But if you are the teacher, help those kids out. Go a little slower if you can. So anyway, so you want to make sure your kids know letters and sounds. Make sure you are calling out the words clearly and slowly enough for those kids to process them. And then make sure you step in and slow it down even further if they need the help. So you make sure they can hear that quiet blend. There's always a quieter one. Make sure they hear it, especially if you're seeing it get dropped all the time. That's what's happening. And then make sure they are rereading whatever they wrote after they write it so that they can see what they actually wrote. Because they might think they wrote it, but when they check it, they might go, oh, wait, hold on, let me fix it. So get them in the habit of doing that. So, any questions? Let me know. If you need a guide to help you teach your kids to read and write, if you need something that's already done for you, you just pull out the packet and you work through it. When you finish that packet, you go to the next one, you work through it with your child. You finish that packet, go to the next one. If you need a step-by-step roadmap for how to teach kids, especially kids who struggle, how to read and write, I've got you covered. Go to www.kidscanonlineacademy.com and look up the Black Belt Reading Program. And in it, I have recorded videos teaching all of the tricks your kids need to know step by step. There's a huge packet for you guys to work through each trick to make sure your child gets it. It all builds as you go. So everything you need for spelling practice, reading practice, all that's in there. Work through it at your own pace. Move on to the new trick when you are ready. And as you work through the tricks, you'll see your child learn to read and write. So if you need help, go to kidscanonlineacademy.com and find Black Belt Reading. You can also find it at kidscanreadandwrite.com, but it's a little harder to find. I'm in the middle of transitioning websites, so things are a little crazy right now. But anyway, let me know if you have trouble finding either one, just contact me. Or if you have questions that I can help you with, let me know. I'll make a video, and at least I'll try to, and try to help you out. So have a great day. Thanks so much for joining me. Like, share, and all that stuff. See you soon.